We've been hearing reports that President Trump views Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg and even Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren as potential Democratic rivals in the year 2020. And there's always the possibility maybe there's a primary opponent from somebody like John Kasich or somebody else. But that's the talk. So with that, we bring John McLaughlin in. He's a pollster who I believe has been running some numbers of his own on this. He's made a living doing that for some time. I know you worked for the president. Good to see you, John, by the way.
Great to be here.
During the campaign. And now, boy, I hate to say this, are we getting set for another campaign?
Well, it's a little early. Right now, the president is worried about accomplishments.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get his agenda done. What was important there is he doesn't get the media coverage or the credit when he succeeds. And here you have a major drop in illegal immigration coming across that border into Arizona. And the way he could get media coverage is by physically going there and pointing to that accomplishment.
That's interesting because that brings up, that's the question I asked earlier, which was, hey, last night you make this speech where you're praised by all types of people you're not normally praised by as being quote-unquote presidential, but you're saying it's important for him to make tonight's speech as well.
Right. And what's important about that is he's out there. He doesn't want to be isolated in Washington. This is an outside the Beltway, blue-collar billionaire president who built a heartland coalition that was putting together the Sun Belt together with the Rust Belt, and people, the average people in America are really where he draws his energy from because he's there to fight for them.
Right.
So, you know, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the talk where they run him down, et cetera, is the same old Washington establishment. The people he beat in the primary, the people he beat in the November election, I mean, they're still upset that he won.
Now, he has had some tough times here the last few weeks, and the numbers, of course, show that, and you can argue about which numbers are right, but the numbers show that he's had some tough times politically. So if you look at it big picture, and you look at a lot of data, what does he have to do? Forget about if Mark Zuckerberg's going to run or this one's going to run. What does he have to do to be successful next time?
Well, he's going to raise his job approval. And I do have to, you can't discount, you can't accept a lot of these polls as good polls because most of them don't tell you the number of Republicans in them. And a lot of them have the Republicans in the mid-20s when election day they were 33%.
But his numbers are lower than they need to be.
But like there's a good poll, Rasmussen poll has it modeled after election day, and they had him at 43%. Coming up from the high 30s last week.
Okay, so say he's a little higher, even if he is a little higher, like you say.
With him. The Trump voters, 80–90% of those people, strongly
has he lost base in the last week?
A little bit, but they've come back. And like last night's speech helps. He's the type of person who really his base is very loyal. And what he's got to do is broaden. And a lot of it is, you'll notice in all those polls, what they sometimes talk about is Congress has a really dismal approval rating.
They're worse than he is in a lot of things. Right.
And instead of Trump affecting them, they're affecting him. So he's got to lead them to get things done so that approval rating goes up. And he's doing that.
So he's on that path in your view. And that's the key versus whoever runs against him next time. Thank you, John. Good to see you.
Thank you, John.
Always.